Imagine a world with no trees, no blue oceans, and absolutely no oxygen. Just an endless sea of boiling lava, toxic gases, and deadly space radiation. This isn't a scene from a Hollywood sci-fi movie. This was our home, planet Earth, 4.5 billion years ago. Today, we are starting an epic journey back in time to explore the ancient history of our planet. How did an absolute cosmic hell turn into the beautiful green paradise we live on today? Our story begins 4.6 billion years ago in a dark, young solar system. After our sun was born, it left behind a massive cloud of cosmic dust, gas, and rocks floating in space. Over millions of years, gravity pulled these pieces together, crashing them into each other with unbelievable force. Out of this violent chaos, planet Earth was born. But back then, Earth looked nothing like it does today. It was a terrifying glowing ball of melted rock. The surface was a giant ocean of boiling lava with temperatures rising above 2,000 degrees Celsius. Toxic gases like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and sulfur vapor filled the air, making it completely impossible to breathe. Scientists call this first dark chapter of Earth the Hadean Eon. The word Hadean comes from Hades, the ancient Greek god of the underworld, which literally translates to hell. It is the perfect name. Earth was constantly bombarded by thousands of meteors from deep space, keeping the planet in a permanent state of destruction. There was no solid ground to walk on, no water to drink, and absolutely no life. It was a pure cosmic nightmare. Just as the planet's surface began to cool down slightly, a catastrophic event changed the Earth forever. A young planet about the size of Mars, which scientists call Theia, was on a deadly collision course with Earth. Moving miles per second, Theia struck Earth with a massive glancing blow. The impact was so violent that it almost completely destroyed our young planet. The explosion melted both planets instantly, blasting billions of tons of superheated rock and debris out into Earth's orbit. Over time, gravity did its magic once again. It gathered all that floating debris, pulling it together until it formed a solid ball. That ball is the very same moon we see in the night sky today. But things were very different back then. The moon was incredibly close to Earth, about 15 times closer than it is right now. Because the moon was so close, its gravitational pull on Earth was extremely powerful. It forced the Earth to spin at a crazy, dizzying speed. Can you believe that a full day on ancient Earth lasted only 6 hours? 3 hours of daylight and 3 hours of pitch-black darkness. The skies were violent, the winds were hurricane force, and the planet was completely unstable. As the millions of years rolled by, the solar system calmed down, and the meteor attacks finally began to slow. This marked the beginning of a new era, the Archean Eon. With fewer space rocks hitting the planet, the Earth finally began to cool down. The boiling lava on the surface slowly hardened into a dark crust of volcanic rock. But the real magic happened because of volcanoes and water-rich meteors. For millions of years, volcanoes had been pumping huge amounts of water vapor up into the atmosphere. As the planet cooled, all that trapped water vapor began to condense into thick, heavy clouds, covering the entire globe in total darkness. Then came the greatest storm in Earth's history. It began to rain, and it didn't stop for a few days or weeks. It rained continuously for thousands, possibly millions of years. This epic, non-stop downpour filled the massive rocky basins and deep volcanic craters of the hardened crust. Slowly but surely, the very first oceans of the world were born. Nature's most important element for life, liquid water, had finally arrived. However, these weren't beautiful blue oceans. They were rich in iron, making them green under a toxic orange sky. Now, the world had oceans, but the land was still just a silent, barren wasteland of black rock. The atmosphere was still deadly. But deep down at the bottom of these primitive green oceans, a miracle was waiting to happen. In the pitch-black depths, hydrothermal vents, which are essentially underwater volcanoes, were spewing out superheated water, rich minerals, and complex chemicals. In this warm, chemical soup, a magical spark occurred. The right molecules came together, creating the very first living organisms on Earth. Simple, single-celled bacteria. Life had officially begun. For a long time, these bacteria lived quietly in the dark. But around 3.5 billion years ago, a special type of organism evolved, known as cyanobacteria, or blue-green algae. These tiny, microscopic creatures became the ultimate heroes of our planet. They moved up to the ocean surface and started using sunlight to create their own food through a process called photosynthesis. As a byproduct of this process, they began releasing a brand new gas into the water and air: oxygen. For millions of years, these tiny bacteria worked non-stop, pumping massive amounts of oxygen into the atmosphere. They were completely rewriting the chemistry of the planet, clearing the toxic skies, and paving the way for the future of all animal life. But this sudden explosion of oxygen triggered a terrifying chain reaction that no one saw coming. The new atmosphere caused the planet's greenhouse gases to collapse, plunging the Earth into a brutal, apocalyptic freeze. The entire planet, from the North Pole to the South Pole, froze over completely, turning into a giant, lifeless ball of solid ice. Scientists call this terrifying mystery Snowball Earth. How did the first tiny living cells survive beneath miles of solid ice? And how did the planet ever warm up again? We will uncover that thrilling story in our next episode. If you want to explore the deepest mysteries of nature and wildlife, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. See you in episode 2.